It feels like it's been quite a long time coming, but Sony is finally in with a major redesign of its flagship phones. Meet the Xperia XZ2 and XZ2 Compact, a family of phones that, like previous generations, shares nearly all the same specs between sizes, but this time around differs a bit more on the design of each size too. Let's start with the bigger model, the XZ2, which features a brand new water-inspired design called Ambient Flow. The larger XZ2 features a fully glass and metal build with a rear-mounted fingerprint scanner that's located almost in the center of the phone. Just above it is the center-aligned camera and related sensors, all pushed more towards the middle than the top. Sony cites that this is not only a more comfortable position for the fingerprint scanner, which will now ship with all models regardless of region, but also that the location of the camera module helps cut down on the number of fingers that end up in shots. We've complained about this before on the countless numbers of phones that stick the lens in the top left, and it's great to see companies listening. Of course, the real big deal for overall design are these significantly smaller bezels and a fingerprint scanner that's not located inside the power button. Despite the size difference between the two, both panels feature 1080p resolution and HDR support, and Sony has built in an engine that takes SDR content and tries to add in some extra dynamic range to make it more like HDR content. The XZ2 utilizes a 5.7-inch display, while the Compact sports a 5-inch display, both sporting the taller 2:1 aspect ratio. This makes both phones feel quite a bit smaller without sacrificing screen real estate, and there's still a set of stereo speakers above and below the screen too. You'll still find a dedicated camera shutter button on each model as well, but what you won't find on either is a 3.5mm audio jack. Despite not making the phone any thinner, Sony is ditching the jack and joining the companies that have decided to remove this once standard feature. Both are still waterproof, and the larger XZ2 also includes Qi wireless charging support. For whatever reason, Sony did not pack it into the XZ2 Compact's polycarbonate body, but it sports the same Snapdragon 845 SoC, 4GB of RAM, and 64GB of internal storage with microSD card support in both of those phones. The XZ2 also packs in a new vibration motor that Sony says it borrowed from the PS4, giving this a different tactile feel than most phones. Around the back you'll find a 19-megapixel MotionEye sensor that sports some new features over the previous generation. Full 1080p, non-cropped slow-motion video makes an appearance thanks to the new ISP inside that Snapdragon 845, and that sensor is still capable of the amazing 960 frames per second super slow motion from the XZ1 as well. On top of that, Sony is debuting the world's first 4K HDR recording on a phone's auto mode with both the XZ2 and the XZ2 Compact, meaning you can take beautiful 4K HDR video without having to post-process. Sony has also improved the 3D scanning modes, which were a bit on the clunky side last time around, but now operate much more smoothly and can even be done with a front-facing camera too. All in all, it's a pretty sweet step up from previous generations, but the interesting thing is that we neither have a release date or price point for either model at this time. Given this is the first major crop of phones announced with the Snapdragon 845 inside, it's likely supply constraints that are holding that info back for now. We hope you enjoyed that hands-on and will subscribe to us for regularly updated content. Check out our other MWC 2018 coverage here on YouTube and at AndroidHeadlines.com. Thanks for watching, and until next time.